What's up guys, it's Warren Gosling here, and today I'm going to show you how to prioritize your debts. Hi guys, it's Warren here, back again with some simple, actionable tips on how to become financially free. If you like today's topic and find it useful, don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. It really helps us build this financial community and gets this content out to people who really need it on their debt-free journey. You can also head over to Instagram. I'm at Warren Gosling, holla at me. So we've got overdue credit card debts, personal loan arrears, council tax arrears, parking fines, and the rest. And they're all knocking at your door looking to get paid, but which debt do I pay off first? By the end of this video, I'm going to give you a clear answer to the question, which debt should I pay off first? And show you the fastest way to pay down debt. So stick around to the end guys, we're all about getting out of debt in 2020. The first question is, do you know where your money goes each month? If I ask you right now to tell me on average how much you spend each month on say socializing, clothes, your utilities, and your answer is I do not know, I want you to pause this video and watch my previous video on how to budget. Guys, there's a reason why I did that video really early on. Trust me, your budget is going to be the foundation of everything you do towards financial freedom. So go watch that video right now and come back and we'll be waiting for you. Welcome back guys. Now you've got your budget, okay? And you know what your disposable cash is to chuck at your debts each month. You can normally identify which debts you have arrears on by how many chaser letters you get through the post each month. So which debt should I pay off first? The answer is, of course, your priority debts. Why? Because these directly affect your credit score and can result in some type of enforcement action, usually being disconnected, so utilities, phone, losing your home, losing essential services, or even being imprisoned in the worst case scenario. If non-payment leads to any one of these consequences, that would be a priority debt, guys, and you need to clear these ASAP, because if you don't, 9 times out of 10, some of these enforcement actions are going to be coming your way. The good news is, now that you have a budget, we know how much we have available to put towards our debts and arrears each month, and we can start paying them off. So let's now have a look at each type of priority debt and some tips and some tactics for how we can get them paid off. First is mortgage arrears, guys. Your creditor, i.e. your mortgage lender, the person you owe, is going to be looking for one of two things. Either number one, you clear the arrears, or number two, if that's not possible, they're going to repossess your property via a county court possession order. But generally speaking, and I emphasize the word generally guys, banks are willing to work with homeowners as they don't want to be seen to be throwing people out of their homes. It's terrible, terrible press. I've worked in a bank and they're very aware of that. So get in contact with your bank guys today. They generally do want to speak to you guys. I'm not a bank apologist by any means, but I have worked in many different banks across credit risk over the past 10 plus years. And I know for a fact that they'd rather work with you than work against you when it comes to your debts and arrears. So how do you approach your mortgage lender? And what do you say? The first step is to send a hold action letter. This letter will ask your lender to give you 30 days to get your budget and your payment plan together. The hold letter also asks your lenders to refrain from charging you interest during that period. Now your lenders are under no obligation to agree to this, but most reasonable lenders would. So if you're wondering what a hold action letter is, come back next week and we'll go through the steps in terms of what goes into one and how to write one. So come back for that in next week's video, guys. After you've sent your holding action letter, what you're going to create is your budget to arrive at your disposable monthly cash amount that can be chucked at your debts, and so that you can create an affordable monthly payment plan. As I said before, watch last week's video. The second priority debt is rent. If your landlord is a social housing provider, they're going to want a minimum rate deduction from your benefit. If you have a private landlord, they're going to want you to clear your arrears, or they may pursue a mandatory possession of your property if you have more than 2 months of rent arrears built up. In the worst case scenario with both housing providers, that could result in an eviction from your home. So I myself am a landlord and I own properties and I manage them myself. So I can tell you firsthand that from a landlord's perspective, how I prefer to be approached when it comes to rent arrears is for my tenants to get in contact with me, guys, to communicate. That's what I'm looking for. Don't ghost them. okay? It will only add to their frustration and worsen your relationship with them. As soon as you have issues, or you can see yourself having issues over the horizon, telling them nice and early is always the best way, guys. That's what I really appreciate. And that counts for all other debts, to be frank. So when you have a forward-looking budget and you can foresee affordability issues coming in the future, the best thing to do is to let all of your creditors know early. It always works out better. They're much more likely to give you grace and time. But in this context, we're talking about arrears, and you might be already past that stage of being able to do that. So if you're in arrears right now, create your budget and your payment plan that you can afford, and pull it to your landlord in writing and an email. I do both personally, because as a landlord, I don't want to just see, sorry, I can't pay rent this month. You know, what am I going to do with that? What I much prefer to see is, sorry, I can't pay rent this month, and here's a plan of how I'm going to repay you over the next 2, 3, 4 months. I've got no problem working with my tenants when they approach me in that way, guys. I really hope my tenants aren't watching, by the way. June is going to be a really dry month. Quick one, guys, if you find this content helpful and informative, please subscribe, like, and comment. My number one goal is to help as many people as possible with this content, and I need your help to do that. So when you subscribe, you comment, you like, YouTube's algorithm likes that a lot, and it literally suggests these videos to others. So please do consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. Appreciate you guys. If you're dealing with a social housing organization, you have a few options. You can check if you can claim housing benefit if you're not already. You can check with your housing benefit or your universal credit provider for a discretionary payment or help with your rent. You can also check if there is a local preventing repossession fund still running and apply for help with them if so. In summary, guys, keep paying what you can afford to and put together a plan to catch up with your arrears and submit that to your housing providers. Next are council tax arrears. So usually a local council will want you to clear your arrears by the end of the financial year. If you're unable to come to a satisfactory agreement with the council, their actions can include anything from fines, bailiffs, deductions from your wages or benefits. I didn't know they were able to do that, actually. I don't know if you guys did. Let me know in the comment section below. Or even bankruptcy if arrears are over £5,000. And in the worst case, that can be imprisonment. So what are your options for getting right? Number one is create a budget and a payment plan. Seeing a recurring theme here, guys, and propose that to the council. Secondly, you can check if you can claim a council tax rate reduction, also called council tax support, or even a discount. If appropriate, you can also dispute the liability order, which is the demand to pay. Next are gas and electricity arrears, guys. Your suppliers are going to be looking for payment before the next bill is due, and in the worst case, they can install a prepayment meter. For those of you who don't know, and who haven't ever grown up on a council estate like I have, a prepayment meter is whereby you pay for your electricity and your gas in advance. So you don't get the luxury of paying at the end of the month, having used all of the utilities throughout the previous month. You have to pay upfront and in advance. They can also straight up disconnect your supply, and in the worst case, it can even lead up to a county court recovery or enforcement action. So the same as before, guys, in terms of how to address this. Use your budget to create a payment plan that's affordable and submit it to your provider. If you're being faced with disconnection, guys, some of your options are you could look into the standard license condition 27. That's the standard license condition 27, which protects particular groups of customers from disconnection between October and March inclusive. That's October and March inclusive. And for all of my Aggie people out there, just kidding, you can complain to the Citizens Advice Consumer Service. Next up, guys, we have hire purchase contracts. So you usually see this type of payment arrangement with cars, whereby you pay an upfront payment of around 10% and you pay the remainder over the number of years. And at the end of the contract, you have the option to buy the vehicle outright. If you're in arrears on a hire purchase agreement, your lender will want to see a payment plan to clear the arrears over a short period of time, preferably. And if that can't be agreed, they'll be looking to repossess the vehicle or the goods. So what are your options? If you've paid a third of your total agreement payment, then it's less likely that your lender will repossess your car because they'll need a court order to do that. So you'll have that in your favor. So you can either, one, consider a voluntary termination of the agreement under Section 99 of the Consumer Credit Act. You can cite that, but you will have to pay the outstanding balance, however. The second option is to ask the lender for permission to sell the car, in addition to termination of the agreement under Section 99 of the Consumer Credit Act. So this will reduce the outstanding balance to pay at the end. Bear in mind, guys, these options are at the lender's discretion, so they don't have to agree to it. The third option is to do your budget, make a payment plan, and offer them affordable installments based on what you've put together. Top tip, guys, if you can avoid it, try not to park on the road if you're in arrears. You might find that your car magically evaporates off the streets one day when you're least expecting it. Lastly, guys, I want you to add high interest credit cards and loans to your priority payments. Now, I'm adding these because of the devastating effect that high interest compounding month after month can have on you. I've experienced that firsthand. If you have before, let me know in the comment section below, but I got buried quick, guys. So I highly recommend prioritizing these and paying these off immediately to get you out of that hole or potential hole. Once you've got your priority debts under control, you can now switch your attention to clearing arrears on your non-priority debt. Guys, this is the fastest way to pay down debt and the smartest way to pay down debt. Priority first, non-priority second. So non-priority debts are overdrafts, personal loans, money borrowed from friends or family, credit cards, store card debts, payday loans, catalogs, in-store credit cards, all of those, guys. So do the same for these as you did with the priority debts, in that you create a budget and a payment plan. Rinse and repeat that, guys. Now, I know I've given you all a lot of information here, but I really wanted to be specific and give you information that's actionable, guys, that you can use for getting out of debt in 2020. So how did you guys get on? Let me know in the comment section below. So that's today's episode, guys. I hope you found it helpful. Tune in next week where I'm going to show you how to get out of debt step by step. If there's anything else that you want to see more of or want to see information on in the videos, let me know in the comment section below. I want to give you guys what you want. I'll make it happen. Don't forget to like, subscribe. It really helps us build the channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.